little bit late. Yar was out flirting with some of the girls. That pitch on the inside corner for strike number one. Had to send his own wife out there to save the girls. Pitching for the Stuttgart Reds, Kirsten Schmidt. That off-speed pitch in there for strike number two. Catching is Aaliyah Petzold at first base. Hope Cornell, Jesse Violet second. Makaya Kalau at third. Annie Stepniak at short. And that ball hit long but foul. Strike number two still. Left, center, and right will be Isa Schmidt, Julie Bräuniger, and Coco Apple batting. Savannah Sloan 2 for 4 in the last game with 2 doubles. Improved her .419 batting average. And she pops that one up out of play. And another ball almost hit the world's best photographer, Iris Drobny. Something about these softballs and her, she's like a magnet. No balls, 2 strikes. And that fastball high and outside, ball 1. The rest of the lineup, batting second, Kristen Poon, followed by Janina Lupkin, Michelle Grime, Emma Beth, Athena Suber, Joanna Eisinger, Susanna Anderson, and Victoria Bucher. And that off-speed pitch popped up and caught by the shortstop for out number 1. For those of us just joining me, for those of you just joining me, game 1, as expected, a pitcher's duel, 2 unearned runs were enough. Mannheim able to score run number 3 in the bottom or the top of the 7th inning. Final score, Mannheim 3, Stuttgart 0. Mannheim inches that much closer to tying the Stuttgart Reds for the lead in the Bundesliga South. And no pitch called by the umpire. Umpire probably wasn't ready. So, umpires for today pulled a switcheroo. Of course, that's always in the game 2. Behind the plate, Bernd Dentz at first base, Thomas Haller. And if you have questions, comments, words of wisdom, want to shout out, just let me know where you're watching from. Right in the chat function, subscribe to Reds TV, get your 1,000 subscribers. And that was a swing and a miss. That's one of those slap hits. Of course, in game 1, I was letting you guys know some of the difference between fast pitch and baseball. Went over some of the larger things. That pitch high outside. Ball 1, 1-1. As you can tell, in softball, normal softball fields have a complete dirt infield, where baseball mostly has grass infields. That off speed pitch in there for strike number 2. And a check hit. But again, shortstop Annie Stepniak able to pull it out of the air. 2 batters, 2 flyouts. Next batter, Janina Lupkin, was 1 for 4 in game number 1. And that ball in the gap between short and third, and it gets all the way to the fence. So a double for Janina Lupkin. The next battle is Michelle Green. Michelle had most of the hits for the Tornadoes in the first game. Was 3 for 4. And a shout out to you, Martina Krushi. Thanks for watching. 2 outs, runner at second. And that pitch misses outside for ball number 1. And that's a little bit further outside, ball number 2. 2-0 the count. That's 3-0. 3 balls, no strikes. And Stuttgart trying to smuggle an extra player on the field. Problem number 1. You're only allowed 9. Problem number 2. This is women's softball. That was a young man, so get him off the field. Now they're closing the fence. 3-0 the count. Runner at second base. 2 outs. And taking all the way is Janina Lubkin. Michelle Grimes. She takes strike number 1. 3 balls, 1 strike. And ball number 4. A walk puts runners at first and second. Brings up Emma Beath. 429 batter in the season. Was 1 for 3 in the first game. He's got 2 runners on. We have 2 outs. And that ball right off the pitcher. Not able to get anybody out, but not keeps the ball from going into the outfield. That looked like it caught off the heel of her glove. Everybody gonna check. Infield single, runners advance. We have bases loaded and Athena Zuber up to bat. Oh, good thing that was her glove hand. And again, you see Kirstenschmidt wearing one of those face mask protectors. Softball 43 feet away. That pitch way outside, ball 1. Well, Mannheim gets bases loaded, threatening already in the top of the first inning. Stuttgart does have 2 outs. And that off-speed pitch on the outside corner. Strike number 1, 1 ball, 1 strike. And another one of those different rules in softball. The last person who was out can go in and be a temporary runner for the pitcher or the catcher. It's one of the speed up rules in softball. That way the pitcher can sit down and relax. That ball fouled back. Count goes to 1 ball, 2 strikes. But again, even though it's called softball, these women are athletes. The ball is not soft, and they play just as hard as the men do. And that pitch just a bit high. Nice jumping catch by the catcher. Leah Petzold keeps the runner at third base. 2-2. It's triple deuces. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And a ground ball to Annie Stepniak, who's not able to control the ball. Throw down to third is safe, so the error allows the first run to score. Just like in the last inning, an error allowed the last game, an error allowed the first run to score. 1-0 in favor of the Mannheim Tornadoes. That brings up new in the game, Joanna Eisinger. She did not play in the first game. Has a .370 batting average. And she pops that ball up. Called for and caught by Hope Cornell. 1 run on 2 hits, 1 error, 3 left on. We'll be right back with the bottom of the first inning. In the defense, pitching for the Mannheim Tornadoes, Susanna Anderson. She's 2-0 with 1.91 ERA. Has only been in 2 games, 2 complete games, 3 earned runs, 14 strikeouts. Catching her is Michelle Grime. At first base, Janina Lupkin. Second base, Victoria Bucher. At third base, Savannah Sloan. Shortstop is Christine Poon. Left, center, and right, Emma Beef, Athena Zuber, and Joanna Eisinger. Lineup for the Stuttgart Reds. Leading off, the Energizer Bunny, Annie Stepniak, followed by Jessie Weil, Hope Cornell, Makaya Kalau, Kirsten Schmidt, Julie Breuniger. 7, 8, and 9 is Aliyah Petzold, Maita Holmberg, and Coco Appa. Let's see if Stuttgart can answer with runs in the bottom of the first inning. And that pitch is in there for strike number 1. Oh, game 1 again. Mannheim wins 3-0. Pitcher for Mannheim threw a 2-hitter. That ball swing and a miss for strike number 2. And that ball off the plate, over the pitcher's head. No chance to get the speedy Annie Stepniak safe at first, single. Next batter is Jessie Weil. Jessie 0 for 2 in game number 1. And a bunt. Of course, another one of those big things. And Annie Stepniak all the way to third. and attempting to score and able to get around the throw. So Stuttgart able to get the run back. Sacrifice hit for Jessica Weil, and there's why I call her the Energizer Bunny. Annie Stepniak makes everything go good. Stuttgart ties the game. On the error, the overthrow. A 1-1 to score. And Hope Cornell takes one off the foot. Hit by pitch. Oh, she's safe at first. And that brings up Makaya Kalau. Okay, going switch hitting. Hitting this time from the left side. One out. And she swings and misses at the first pitch. Shows a bunt, throw back to first. First base lady catches the ball. Probably would have been better if the second base lady caught the ball, but Hope back safe. 1-1 the count. And that pitch low and away. Okay, of course, the slap hit, run and start. And that ball chopped. And not in time. Hope Cornell running to second base. Has the right to the base path. A single and a hit by pitch. Runners now at first and second with one out. And Kirsten Schmidt, the new batter. Kirsten 1 for 3 in game one. 571 batting average before this weekend. So you got Hope Cornell at 553. Makaya Kalau at 556. Kirsten Schmidt at 571. Murderer's row for the Stuttgart Reds. Runners at first and second. One run already in. Stuttgart threatening to score some more. And she shows bunt. Pulls back, ball one. Bunting again. One of the big parts of softball. And check by the umpire, did she swing? No. Of course, another one of the big differences between baseball and softball. If you look, the baseball is about 9 inches in diameter. And there's a bunt right back to the pitcher. Throw to first in time. Runners advance to second and third on the sacrifice hit. Brings up Julie Breuniger. She was 0 for 2. She's got 2 runners in scoring position. Again, a baseball is about 9 inches in diameter and about 5 ounces heavy, and a softball, not soft, about 12 inches in diameter, about 7 ounces. Oh, the softball much larger than the baseball. That ball, she aimed at the first base coach. He's too old to do a matrix move. He just stood there. The ball was afraid of him. Well, 1 strike. That pitch inside, ball 1, 1-1. One of the other differences between baseball and softball is stealing. Runner is not allowed to leave the base until the pitcher releases the ball. Basically, when the pitcher lets go of the ball, that's when you can leave the base. If you leave too early, you can be called out. And that's why bunting is more of a weapon than stealing. That ball fouled right into the catcher. And it's triple deuces, or into the umpire. Triple deuces, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Then again, one of the last differences that probably a lot of people don't know is the bat sizes. Baseball bats heavier and have a maximum of 42 inches. Softball is a maximum of 34 inches. That pitch inside for a full count. That's one of those ones that you probably don't notice, but the softball bats are much smaller, lighter. You've got to be lighter to be able to bring that bat around. That ball hit, but foul. Today's paid attendance or not paid attendance, 4,923. These are Stuttgart's last regular season home games. Stuttgart on the 22nd of July will be in Regensburg, and then the playoffs start on 2 and 3 September. And that ball fouled off again. Julie Bruniger giving us our best Bee Gees impression. She's staying alive. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. And pitcher wins the battle. Strikeout ends the inning. 1 run on, 2 hits, 1 error, 2 left on. Score after 1 complete inning. Stuttgart 1, Mannheim 1. We'll be right back with the second of the inning.
Woke up in the morning, what a beautiful day. Sun's up and you're on your way. You make me feel so fine. Water sparkling on your skin, sugar laughing as we sing. Run round and round we go. Ooh, life, I love you so.
Top of the second inning, both teams able to put 1 run across the board in the first. 1-1 to score. Leading off the second for the Mannheim Tornadoes will be Susanna Anderson, Victoria Bucher, and Savannah Sloan. Susanna 0 for 3 in the first game. She takes pitch number 1 for ball number 1. That pitch high, ball 2. That change up in there for strike number 1. 2 balls, 1 strike. Another changeup that's fouled out of play. Stuttgart again still needing to win one of these two games against Mannheim. They lost the first one 3-0. Mannheim winning, which put them one game out. If Stuttgart can win the second game, Stuttgart should be then Southmeister, so they have to win this game. And that's a swing and a miss. Oh yeah, strikeout for out number one. Of course, if Mannheim can win this game, depending on how close, Stuttgart has 2 games left. They win those 2 games, they're still Southmeister, or Bundesliga South champions. But it'd be better just to get it out of the way here. Victoria Bucher, the batter. She was 0 for 3 in the first game. And there's a foul ball out of play. And back with us, Paulo Fasuamano. Arizona. It's probably, what, about 8 o'clock in the morning there? That ball hit to second base, throw to first in time for out number 2. And that brings up Savannah Sloan, Mannheim's version of the Energizer Bunny. Flew out to Annie Stepniak in the first inning. And that off-speed pitch catches the top part of the strike zone. Just a little bit low. 1-1 the count. And here's another pop-up. Caught by the catcher, Aaliyah Petzold for out number 3. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on. We'll be right back with the bottom of the second inning. Batters 7, 8, 9 for the Stuttgart Reds. Aaliyah Petzold, Maida Humberg, Coco Appel. 1-1 the score. And this game, just like the first game, is going to be a defensive battle, even though both teams are very good on the offense. Both teams are also very good on the pitching. And that ball popped up and not caught by the catcher, but Pitcher right there to pick up the ball, to throw it to first for out number 1. Score sheet will go 2-1-3 for out number 1. Maida Humberg in as a designated player. She looks at ball number 1. Maida only nine plate appearances, has a .250 batting average. So used sparingly by Stuttgart. That ball hit foul down the third base line. Quickly 1-1 to count. And that ball fouled. And no, that doesn't count. If it bounces off the fence and the catcher catches it, it's a foul ball. But it looks cool. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. Strikeout for out number 2. And an attempted slap hit. Swing and a miss. Strike number 1. And that ball fouled out of play. Heads up. Strike number 2. That pitch a little bit too far outside. Ball 1. And guess the ball's not round enough, not green enough. Pitcher wants a new ball. Count 1 and 2 with 2 outs. And a swing and a miss. Strikeout ends the inning. No runs on, no hits, no errors, nobody left on. 2 innings in the books. Score remains 1-1. We'll be right back with the 3rd inning. Inning number 3, leading off Christine Poon, Janina Lupkin, Michelle Grime, 1-1 to score. Christina fly out to the shortstop in at bat number 1. As I said earlier, Stuttgart after this, 2 games left. Depending on the outcome of this game. Foul ball out of play. Depending on the outcome of this game, Stuttgart needs 2 more wins and then they're South champions. If they win this game, they're South champions. Mannheim still has, after this game, a 23 July at home versus Karlsruhe and 6 August in Tübingen, so they still have the opportunity. That's strike number 2. They still have the opportunity to overtake Stuttgart if Stuttgart wins 2 of the or loses 2 of the last 3, including this game. That pitch up high, just a little bit too high. Ball number 1. That pitch left way up, ball 2. And on that high pitch, Christine couldn't lay off of it. She knows herself. Strikeout, out number 1. Janina Lupkin doubled and came around to score on an error. And that off-speed pitch right back in our faces, ball number 1. I hope you jumped at home when you seen that ball coming at you. Yara almost fell out his chair. No balls, 1 strike. And there's a ball just out the reach of the pitcher, but no problem for national team player Jessie Vaughn. She comes in, scoops it up, throws it to first for out number 2. Next batter, the catcher, Michelle Grime, walked, made it all the way to third base where she stayed in the first inning. There's an off-speed pitch, strike number 1. That ball hit out of play. Strike number 2. No balls, 2 strikes. That pitch high outside. I'm sure you sitting at home, you can see a big difference in the 2 pitchers. The pitcher from Mannheim, more heat, more fastballs trying to blow it by you. Kristen, more finesse, more off speed. And that ball hit high and deep over the left fielder's head all the way to the fence. A double for Michelle Grime. Of course, on the off-speed pitches, if you don't fool the batter, something like that happens. No balls, or excuse me, 2 outs, runner at second base, and next up to bat, Emma Beef. Singled in the first at bat. of course, Michelle Grime, the catcher. And now the last out goes in to run for her so she can sit on the bench and get her catcher's equipment on. The speed up rules in softball. That's why the games are usually about an hour and a half. That ball popped up. Watch out, Yara. Out of play for strike number 1. And there's another off-speed pitch. This time popped up, called for, caught by Hope Cornell. That double didn't hurt. No runs on 1 hit. No errors, 1 left on. We'll be right back with the bottom of inning number 3. We're in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Annie Stepniak, Jesse Vile, Hope Cornell. Score remains 1-1. Annie singled and scored, and that one hit to the third baseman, who's able to pick it out of the air and throw 1 pitch, 1 out. Jesse Vile, the next batter. Her sacrifice hit brought Annie all the way to third base, and on an error, Annie was able to score. Jesse, 364 hitter for the season. And she's hitting at the first pitch, and that ball gets past the second baseman, a single for her. She's on first base, and Hope Cornell, the next batter. Hope with some very impressive statistics for herself this year. 32 RBIs, 26 hits, 8 doubles, 2 triples, 6 home runs. She takes that pitch for ball number 1. So, offensive powerhouse for the Stuttgart Reds. And that pitch just a bit low, 2-0 the count. That ball down to third base line. Barehanded catch for third base coach Marcus Vile, who's not showing everybody, but he hurt his back on that one, I'm sure. 2 balls, 1 strike. have another chop ball, this time to the pitcher, who makes a bad throw, goes all the way into right field, and Jesse Caval on the way home and is able to score. So we have Jesse Caval advances to second on the ground ball, and an E1 by the pitcher. And Hope Cornell now all the way to third base. Stuttgart able to take the lead on the air. And Mikhail Kalau has Stuttgart, one of Stuttgart's 2 hits so far in the game, is the next batter. And she's lined out to the second baseman. Very nice catch. She doesn't have that. Stuttgart able to score run number 3. Kirsten Schmidt, the next batter. Sacrifice hit in the first at-bat. And she's attacking the first pitch. Another one popped up. And no call by the umpire means the ball was fair. 2-3 on the putout. Stuttgart takes the lead. 2-1. We'll be right back with the 4th inning. Top of the 4th inning, Athena Suber, Joanna Eisinger, Susanna Anderson, the 3 batters. Stuttgart pushed to run across the board on an error. 2-1 for Stuttgart. And that pitch too far outside, ball 1. And a line drive off the pitcher, stopped by the second baseman, throw not in time. We're going to give that a base hit. That's the second one that goes right back at Kirsten Schmidt. This time, safe. Joanna Eisinger, the next batter, popped up to first base in her first at-bat. And that fly ball straight away center field. No problem, and the throw goes somewhere, but Kirsten Smith, the pitcher, not sleeping, gets the ball. F8 for out number 1. Susanna Anderson, strikeout victim, her first at-bat, is the next batter. And that off-speed pitch comes in too low. Strike number 1, or ball number 1. That pitch way inside, ball 2, 2-0 the count. change up. Catches the lower part of the strike zone for strike number 1. 2 balls, 1 strike. On the outside corner with the fastball, quickly from 2-0 to 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Runner at first base. And on the off-speed pitch, swing and a miss. Oh, yeah! Strikeout for out number 2. Victoria Bucher, the next batter. And another off-speed pitch. Swing and a miss, strike number 1. Again, that's big difference. Kirsten Schmidt, finesse pitcher, a lot of off-speed pitches, a lot of movement. Whereas Susanna Anderson, more of a power pitcher. And that ball inside, fouled off. Ball number 2, or strike number 2. No balls, 2 strikes. Oh, yeah! Another off-speed pitch, another beautiful changeup, and another strikeout. No runs on 1 hit. No errors, 1 left on. We'll be right back with the bottom of the 4th inning. Bottom of inning number 4, 2-1 for the Stuttgart Reds. Batting for Stuttgart, Julie Bräuninger, Alia Petzold, Maita Homburg. Julie strikeout for her first at bat. That ball inside low, ball 1. She's looking for her first hit of the day. 0-2 in the first inning, or the first game, excuse me. And she tries one of those slap hits, and it goes foul. 1-1 to count. Again, playoff start, 2nd, 3rd of September. Unfortunately, I will not be there to commentate the game, so Yara just let me know he's not going to be there. So unfortunately, we won't have live stream on that, but if they make it further, we will be back. That ball hit to the shortstop. Throw in time to first base. Out number 1. Alia Petzold, the next batter. She had that pop-up where the catcher almost caught it. Didn't catch it, but the pitcher picked it up, threw her out at first. And that ball fouled off her own foot. Dead ball in the box. The call from the home plate umpire, which means she fouled it off her own foot while in the batter's box. Oh. In the Bundesliga North, Bonn leading everybody with a 15-1 record, followed by Wessling at 11-3, Neuenkirch at 8-8, Hamburg at 4-8. That pitch inside for ball one. On the outside looking in, Köln at 5-11, Rotingen Goosenecks at 1-13. Of course, the top four teams advance to the playoffs, and the modus is number one from the south playing number four from the north, and so on and so forth. Swing and a miss on the off-speed pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes. In the south, Stuttgart after today's first game leading at 15-2, followed by Mannheim at 12-3. Freising and Regensburg tied at 8-8, with Tübingen at 4-10, Karlsruhe at 0-16, and that ball fouled out of play. So as stand right now, Stuttgart, Mannheim, Freising, and Regensburg. Tübingen does have a chance if they can win out, and Regensburg and Freising don't. And Stuttgart and Mannheim already qualified for the playoffs, and that ball grounded to the third base lady. Nice strong throw to first for out number 2. And Maida Holmberg, the next batter, strikeout victim in the first at-bat. Two outs. And another foul ball and another bare hand catch by Marcus Weil. So you see the difference between the first base coach, who just stands there and lets the ball go by, and the third base coach, who plays defense. Chris Munska, of course, in his baseball career, a pitcher. And that ball fouled out of play. Ow. 0-2 the count. Marcus Weil, in his baseball career, an infielder. And a swing and a miss. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on. 4 innings in the book. Stuttgart 2, Mannheim 1. Top of the 5th inning. Top of the lineup for the Mannheim Tornadoes: Savannah Sloan, Christine Poon, Janina Lubkin. 2-1 in favor of the Stuttgart Reds, needing this win to sew up the South Championship. And that is hit hard, but foul. Nothing but a long strike. Strike number one. Savannah was 2 for 4 in the first game with 2 doubles. Still looking for her first hit in the second game. Fly out to the shortstop, fly out to the catcher. No balls, 1 strike. Swing and a miss on the off-speed pitch. Strike number 2. And that ball popped up, called for, and caught by the pitcher. Oh, out number 1. Kirsten Smith able to keep a lot of the batters from Mannheim off balance with the variety of pitches that she's throwing. And Christine Poon 0 for 2 with a fly out and a strikeout. And that pitch misses outside, ball number 1. And way outside, ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. That pitch in the dirt. If you pay attention a little bit to the shortstop and second base person, you'll see every time the pitcher gets the sign, they're putting their hands behind their back, basically signaling to the outfield what pitch is coming, so the outfield can then adjust accordingly. 3-0 the count. And that's ball number 4. A walk for Christine Poon brings up Janina Lupkin. Double in the first at-bat, ended up scoring. And a ground out in her second at-bat. And there's a fly ball into left field. Dropped by the left fielder. Throw down to first. Not in time. And on the throw, Janina able to advance to second base, but a single and a error on the left fielder puts 2 runners in scoring position. Brings up Michelle Grime. Michelle, almost all of the offense, 3 for 4 in game 1. A double so far today in the second game in the third inning. She walked in the first inning. One out. And there's a foul ball out of play. Strike number 1. That pitch just a bit high. 1-1 to count. That pitch tails away, ball 2. Swing and a miss. Strike number 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out. Runners at second and third. That ball left up for a full count. A walk would load the bases. And a full walk puts runners on all the bases, gets the force play at any base. Defensively, I'm sure the corners are going to be coming home. Middle infield probably going for the double play. Of course, double play is one of the harder things to turn in softball because of the distances. Stuttgart playing with the infield in, trying to keep the runners from scoring. And that ball hit high in the air in left center field, caught by the center fielder. A sacrifice fly ties the ball game for Mannheim. And that brings up Athena Zuber. She's 1 for 2, safe on an error and a single. And as before, Michelle Grime, the catcher, comes in off, and a new runner goes in for her. And that probably is Emma Beath. So again, the rules in softball, the ability to put somebody in to run for the pitcher or the catcher to speed the game up. That ball outside, ball one. And a ground ball, Jessica Lyle. 2. Hope Cornell ends the inning. 1 run on 1 hit, 1 error. 2 left on. 2-2 the score. We'll be back with the bottom of the 5th inning. Bottom of the 5th inning, 2-2 the score. Mannheim able to tie the ball game in the top of the 5th inning. Stuttgart looking to take the lead again with Coco Appa, Annie Stepniak, and Jessie Weil. Coco struck out her first at bat. Swing and a miss, strike number 1. For all you softball fans, there is another art of softball catching popularity here in Germany, slow pitch softball. That pitch low and outside. And a shout out to all my Shit Happens teammates. Slow pitch played quite a bit in Germany. If you wanted to, you could play a tournament every weekend. That pitch outside, ball two. Right now, this weekend, the big slow pitch softball tournament, the annual Bird Bowl going on, hosted by the Kornwestheim Woodpeckers. Difference between slow pitch and fast pitch. Slow pitch, you have 10 players. That ball flied into left field, but foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 10 players on the field, and the pitcher throws underhand like in baseball, but the pitch must go from 2 to 3 meters, thus the slow. Stuttgart Reds slow pitch softball called the Rusty Reds. You can find tournaments all over Europe, all over Germany. And that's strike number 1 out by window shopping. Annie Stepniak, the next batter. You can find tournaments from novice to expert almost every weekend throughout Germany. So that's for anybody from 10 to 100. So if you're interested, find a slow pitch softball team. That pitch just a bit low, ball 1. Yeah, Martina, I agree. 2 to 3 to 5 to 7 runs wouldn't be bad. Of course, this pitcher is doing a good job. It's not the easiest thing in the world. And that ball down the first base line. Thomas Matrix Holler out the way. And of course, Chris Monskid just stands there. Long strike, 1-1 to count. And there's a ground ball, but to the second base woman, who flips to the first base woman for out number 2. And next batter, Jesse Weil, a sacrifice hit in the first inning. Safe on a single and came all the way around to score on an error. That pitch low, ball 1. So even if Stuttgart happens to lose this game, unless they lose it by more than 8 runs, they still sit in the lead because of run differential. Just need to win the 2 games next week at Regensburg for the South Championship. That pitch on the inside corner, 1-1. Of course, again, 2 doubleheaders left against the 5th and 6th place team. That pitch low inside, 2 balls, 1 strike. And that ball fair all the way to the fence. Jesse motoring around second, on her way to third, and will be held up there and in, almost inside the park home run, but Coach Weil holds his daughter at third base. And the next batter is Hope Cornell. Let's see if Hope can open it up. Hit by a pitch, safe on an error. Anything out of the infield, and Stuttgart will take the lead. And again, for those of you parked in left field, behind the fence, that's the Hope Zone. Be aware. And that hits her on the leg. A second hit by pitch. And again, we know it's called softball, but I'm sure that's going to leave a mark. And next batter is Makea Kalau. Runners on first and third with only 1 out. And see what Coach Marcus Weil has up his sleeve. Jesse Weil on third base with good speed. McKay showing bunt. Pulling back and takes that one. And of course the delayed steal for Hope Cornell. And the runner not throwing to second base, knowing Jesse's speed, she would make it home. So stolen base for Hope Cornell. 2 runners in scoring position. Let's see if Micaiah Kalau can bring him in. Swing and a miss on the outside pitch. Strike number 1, 1-1. 25 RBIs so far on the season for Micaiah. Good time for 26 and 27 if you're a Reds fan. And she takes that pitch outside, looking to slap hit. Two balls, one strike. And elbows in between short and third. And Hope wanders too far off of third base. Head first dive is not in time, called out, but the run scores. A run from Jesse, safe at home. So umpire calls a 5-minute break. So Stuttgart takes the lead 3-2, 5-minute break. On that play, a single for Micaiah Kalau and an RBI. Hope Cornell off the base too far, gets back picked. Oh, 5-minute break, umpires say, because of the temperature. It's about 35 degrees Fahrenheit, about 95 degrees Fahrenheit. So we're going to take a little bit of break, be right back. So, in the pause, a nice hello to you, Roland Fenton from the softball medals. I went out there and danced the YMCA with him. We're back. It's the top of the sixth inning. It's Stuttgart 3, Mannheim 2. Joanna Eisinger, Susanna Anderson, Victoria Bucher, the batters. So an answer to Helger, yes, Helgout or Angie. That was the second hit by pitch in the game. The seventh one this season, so she does attract the softball. That pitch on the inside corner, strike number one. Joanna fly out to the first base, fly out to center field. 0 for 2. Some players just have the habit of attracting the ball. That off-speed pitch, swing and a miss. Strike number 2. And Martina, I can totally agree with you. And I'll let the ladies know that Roland says thank you and hello back. That pitch tries to get her chase a high fastball, just a bit high. One ball, 2 strikes. And off-speed pitch bobbled, but in time. 6-3. Annie Stepniak with a rocket for an arm. Out number 1. Next batter is Susanna Anderson. So after a quick chit chat from first game pitcher to second game pitcher, we're ready to go. 1 out. Susanna Anderson 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. And she swings at the first pitch and sends somebody running. One of the thousands and thousands of people in attendance. Strike number 1. There's a fastball in there. Strike number 2. We'll call that hot cheese at the knees. No balls, 2 strikes. And that high fastball just a bit too high. Don't forget to log into Stuttgart-Reds.de. Monday or Tuesday impressions of the game. The world's best photographer is Drobny running around here taking the hundreds of photos. And there's a ground ball right to Annie. Step and throw, no problem. The Energizer Bunny does it again. 6-3, 2 outs, and number 9 batter, Victoria Bucher. Victoria ground out and a strikeout. That pitch just a bit high. There's an off-speed pitch, fouled out of play. Strike number one, 1-1. Slowly but surely the clouds are rolling in. There is chance of thunderstorms this afternoon. Hopefully they'll wait until the game's over. That pitch on the outside corner, strike number 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And that off-speed pitch fouled off. Protect the plate. Count stays 1-2. And a ground ball right to Hope, who fields it. Steps on the base for a 3-up, 3-down inning, just what Martino ordered. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on. We'll be right back with the bottom of the 6th inning. Bottom of the 6th inning. Kirsten Schmidt, Julie Bräuniger, Alia Petzold, the batters for the Stuttgart Reds. And that ball fouled back. Stuttgart would love to get a couple insurance runs going into the 7th inning. No balls, 1 strike. Kirsten sacrifice hit, and then a ground out to the catcher. And she's hacking at that. That fouls out off her own foot for a 2nd strike. Swing and a miss, strikeout on the low pitch, out number 1. Julie Bräuniger, the next batter. 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out. And somebody in the dugout just let out a murderous yell. I'm sure that was Kirsten. Unsatisfied with her at bat. That pitch inside, ball 1. And a foul ball made me jump. Strike number 2. Strike number 1. 1-1 to count. And that ball hitting the gap into right center field all the way to the fence. And all the way around second and running to third. And safe at third. A triple for Julie Bruniger. Gets herself 60 feet away. And that brings up Aaliyah Petzold. Stuttgart could use one or two insurance runs. Mannheim bringing their infield in. Try to keep Julie Bruniger at third base. She is a very quick runner. And a bunt attempt, and the ball gets past the catcher, and on the wild pitch, Julie comes in to score. Stuttgart now leading 4 runs to 2. Ball number 1. And that pitch misses inside. Ball 1. Ball 2. Math was something I used to be good at. 2 balls, no strikes, 1 out. That pitch on the outside corner, strike number 1. Swing and a miss, 2-2 the count. Again, playoff start on the second and third here in Stuttgart. Yara's not going to be here. I'm not going to be here. So if you want to see the game, you got to come down and support the Reds ladies. That pitch down in the dirt. Throw back to first base. In time, K2-3. So second and third of September. Come down, support the Reds ladies in their quest to become German champion. That ball grounded foul. Another nice stop by Marcus Weil. No balls, 1 strike. Inside, 1-1. And that ball fouled off in the batter's box off Mighty Humberg's ankle. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And a swing and a miss ends the inning, but we got half of the order for Martina. 1 run on 1 hit. No errors, nobody left on. We'll be right back with the 7th and hopefully the final inning shortly.
Woke up in the morning, what a beautiful day. Sun's up and you're on your way. You make me feel so fine. Water sparkling on your skin, sugar laughing as we sing. Run round and round we go. Ooh, life, I love you so.
Top of the 7th inning, 4-2 in favor of the Stuttgart Reds. Top of the lineup for the Mannheim Tornadoes. Savannah Sloan, Christine Poon, Janina Lubkin. Stuttgart needs 3 outs. Mannheim needs at least 2 runs. Savannah Sloan 0 for 3 in this game. She takes that pitch on the outside for ball number 1. And that ball hit high, but out of play. Foul ball, strike number 1. Don't forget to sign up to the Reds TV YouTube channel. Yara needs 1,000 subscribers to get some benefits, bonus stuff to get better equipment. That pitch just a bit high, ball 2. So if you haven't signed up for the YouTube channel, sign up for the Stuttgart Reds TV channel. Make Yara happy. And there's a line drive right to the left fielder who catches it. Nice catch in left field. We've had some very, very dandy outfield play today. Out number 1 for Stuttgart. Outside, ball 1. That pitch low, ball 2. Christine Poon 0 for 2. She walked in the 5th inning and scored. Struck out in the 3rd, fly out in the 1st. And there's ball number 3, 3-0 the count. And that pitch catches the outside corner, strike number 1. And an off-speed pitch change-up in there from 3-0. It's 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. And a pop-up called for and caught by third baseman Makea Kalau for out number 2. Stuttgart down to 1 out to win the championship in the Bundesliga South. Next batter, Janina Lubkin, 2 for 3 with a double and a single and a ground out. She swings and misses at that fastball. Strike number 1. And a foul ball out of play, 0-2 count. Oh, yeah! Swing and a miss, and that ends the ball game. And that makes Stuttgart Bundesliga Bundesliga South champions. Congratulations to the ladies. Job well done. Again, 2 and 3 September playoffs. I'm not going to be able to be here. Yara's not going to be able to be here. So you need to be here. Come support the Stuttgart Reds in their quest to become German champions. Again, congratulations to the ladies for winning the Stuttgart or the Bundesliga South. My name is Ken Hudson, the voice of Reds TV, and on behalf of Yara Drobny, hope you enjoyed the broadcast and catch you the next time.